Let's do it. Welcome. Welcome. Welcome to the show. It is the morning show, WODprep podcast. I am your host, Dr. CJ DePalma, physical therapist, not a real doctor, but it sounds cool to put it on my name. Welcome, welcome. Good morning. What's up, Leslie? Real one, Kyle. Glad you made it. Slater. How was work? Did you save any lives last night? Guys, I actually have I'm like relatively prepared today. I'm not just gonna fully who's John? John, I haven't seen your name before, but good morning. Busy week. Busy week. Biggest week of the CrossFit. Oh, I have to edit this. There's not a capital W. That needs to change. Save changes. Okay. Ugh. I did this. Good morning, Jody. Avera, last time I did I did a 60 hour. And was when I had my last blood clot. Anyways, not that that's what caused it, but over the holiday, I feel like a fast over the holiday would be sad. Like we made, well, we'll talk about Memorial Day in a second. Kyle, me and my nephew did scaled Murph, and I got mine out. Well, that's why we got to get in shape. Hey, you should come to WODprep camp. You'll get in shape there. So a 3-day water fast over the holiday. So, I use holidays to have friends over and cook. And so John and Gucci, so they're my Icelandic athlete, they're staying with us. I just wanted to show them like Memorial Day and in the gist. And so basically we had a cookout and I cooked we didn't do like an American. I cooked picanha, which is a Brazilian style steak. It's like my one claim to fame that I'm pretty good at cooking. I do all of our cooking in the house, but I wouldn't say that I'm a great cook by any means. But I can get it done. We eat good food. But I can cook picanha really, really well. And so it's my one like claim to fame. And and so we had that yesterday and put up some decorations and like put up the water slide for my niece and nephew and Bennett, and everyone came over and we cooked like 8 pounds of picanha. We ate all of it, had mac and cheese and some potatoes and all the things. But I would just be so sad to do a fast over the holiday. That would be really sad. That would make me sad. Just like watch everyone eat. Anyways, John, thanks for being here. Gus, did we do Murph? Me and John did. It was John. John's only been doing CrossFit like a year, and he did it vested unpartitioned in like an hour and 7 or something. I went unpartitioned, no vest this year. I just didn't really feel like putting myself through it this year. So yeah, I did it unvested, unpartitioned, and my biceps are fucked. My biceps are fucked. The gooch didn't know. Too close to NorCal. The soreness, fatigue is just kind of pointless. Like just it would be a beatdown. We're kind of like battling volume control at this point, getting her ready for NorCal as well. Kyle, if you love ribeyes, try tri-tip and cutting. I've heard this before, cutting up tri-tip into steaks. It's definitely on the to-do list and give it a try. So all picanha is I'm pretty sure it's just tri-tip with the fat strap still on it. I think I'm not like a steak connoisseur. I just know that that's the cut you get and you don't do shit to it. You just put salt on it, cooks, and it's the best cut of it's the best bites of beef that I ever have. So let's see. Memorial Day weekend. Oh, and so we just played Blue Angel reruns on repeat on the outside TV. So it was pretty American holiday, I would say. to let them experience Memorial Day, which was fun. Um, let's see what else. It's a big week at CrossFit. Pretty boring weekend, which was good. Um, I think we needed a little bit of a break weekend. I think John did grid. I heard they got their ass beat. Um, my um my one of our coaches, Melissa, is the PT for the, I don't know, a grid team, whoever John played. And so she was really excited. And so she told us all about it. And they won. John's team didn't do that well. But busy week coming up. Not really for me in general. Family's off this week, which is nice. Everyone's home. So try not to spend too much time in the gym and at work. Some other family is in town too. So that'll be good. But we have Syndicate, Rebel Games, right? Africa, and Torian. And yeah, we'll talk about a little bit of that soon. But I have some other things to talk about. So first, I want to bring up Dave's the week in review last night. I know Savon reviewed it, but I feel like he missed some stuff. Okay, or yeah, I feel like there was something there that to me was a really big deal that he didn't hit on. And so let's go to a share screen. Boom, boom. And it's like right in the beginning, and you notice it immediately. Right here. So
Presented by Yeti.
So this community cup, no one noticed, or he didn't notice, but it says Forging Elite Fitness. And I haven't seen CrossFit use that tagline in years. And to me, that's a good step in the right competitive direction. What do you guys think? I'm super excited to see Forging Elite Fitness on a shirt for the first time in forever. I'm all for it. Jody, what on the whole thing? So Jody said, would love your perspective on what? The whole week in review? I had a couple things that I wanted to hit on. I wasn't super, it was kind of a limited one overall, but I was really excited, Community Cup's coming up or whatever. But I know, Avera. Good morning, Jeff. I like this shirt a lot. Dude, anything that says Forging Elite Fitness on it, I'm buying. I mean, I'm signing up for the Community Cup and I'll cripple my way through it. But I mean, to see the Forging Elite Fitness tagline, there's not that many people watching today, and that's okay. When was the last time we saw that on anything CrossFit, like anywhere? I feel like it's got to be like pre CrossFit reform, like pre 2018. Yeah, and this is like old school. Jeff, this is like the Community Cup. I don't know. I don't think you do. I really don't know. Let's go to the Community Cup and see. Let's see what the rules are. Because I thought you did, and then I don't know how they would police that because they're not making you sign in anything. All athletes will be assigned competition level at their affiliate. Let's just go through the registration. Accept invite. Oh, ooh, look at that. Oh, and it's black, dude. Black is way better. Dude, black is way. This shirt looks nice. I like this shirt a lot better. I mean, I like the gray. I'm not a Heather Gray fan. It just shows sweat and all the stuff. But I'll sign up. Oh, extra large. Okay. Maybe I'll. Perfect. Community Cup, advanced, nutrition free, get a discount everywhere. Cool. I need to take my L3. And so I hear if you take the nutrition course, you should like be able to walk through the L3. At least a couple people that have will remove my stuff so you guys don't see my credit card info, huh? But that shirt is dope. I really like it. Continue. Uh-oh. Where'd it go? There it is. $40. Easy peasy. Done. This way. Here we go. Hopefully my credit card info doesn't pop up on the screen. Here we go. Now you know where I live. Oh well. So anyways, let's move this. Maybe we won't keep that up on there too long. View course, thank you. Get started. Courses, workouts. Back to CrossFit. Let's go to Community Cup. Community Cup. Okay. Here we go. Yeah, it's all right. It is what it is. I have a online business. You could have found my address for forever. It's literally on my business website. Okay, compete. Here we go. It says complete 3 workouts at an affiliate. So I'm assuming, I mean, there's like, I assume you could just submit it, but it does seem to be done in affiliate. I think they're all designed to be done in class within an hour. We did the bundle. What is it? Complete. Okay, register, compete. At an affiliate. So it looks like it has to be at an affiliate. Oh yeah, that's right. They let gym owners do it. This is going to be awkward for you. Oh yeah, because it's not at an affiliate. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's right, because your gym just dropped their affiliate. Guys, I mean, I'm not going through this whole thing. Here we go. Community Cup. I mean, I guess we are. Here we are. Registration, event format, series of 3 workouts. There will be no exceptions for late scores. Submitted to affiliates are automatically valid. May be rejected by the manager. Okay, so basically, if you just click your affiliate, it's going to be automatically approved, which means that's what people will do. People will do it in their garage. They'll click an affiliate, and that's what it'll be. I mean, that's just what always happens, right? There's no videos required, so you can't really police it unless the gym polices it for the gym polices it for people actually submitting scores. So I mean, I thought the shirt was nice. The nutrition course is nice, a nice little bonus. And yeah, I think it's good. Everyone should do it. Sign up for the Community Cup. Avera, I also don't think it matters. There's nothing on the line, right? So Avera says it's gonna be a shootout in the Wild West. I don't think the workouts are going to be super difficult, even at the highest level. And so I don't think it really matters. But we still want a fair competition and all that jazz. Blah 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 blah. Okay, I want to come back to this.
Presented by Yeti. This is part of a bundle where you get the shirt and the nutrition course and registration to the Community Cup. Went through the workouts last week. with the team. There's 3 workouts, and there's 5 different levels. There's pro, advanced, intermediate, novice, and rookie. And each level has a different scale for each workout. So within the class, the gym will run. I'm really excited about it. On these games, athletes.
All right. So he didn't really have much
Um,
else.
some of these guys, some of our CrossFit guys, are great runners, and some of like on that women.
I do like
I'm
this. This
excited
is
about
really
that one.
cool.
And if you want to do it, you have
So everyone's talking
the
about
competition that came from it and seeing the people push. And
like the boring. I won't. Don't worry. I'm not going to bring it up. Calm down. I do want to talk. Don't worry. I try not to talk about. I also don't think that was the question. So just to be clear, I don't think that was the person's question. I think it was that they should just cover more hero rods about colored people. Not that it matters. Anyways.
and everything that happened there, it was absolutely the right everything else on so at the games. And I'd love to call out some of these top endurance hybrid athletes to try to come down and appropriate events for the test of fitness. And obviously some events all on what's going to really make it stand out is the athletes on the performance day, are the athletes on the games.
So anyways, if you go to the games and you're watching, you get to do the exact workout, the 4-mile run, 3K row on the exact same course throughout the entire weekend. That means they're going to have a full setup, people judging, people there. And sorry, I took that off the screen. And that's a really cool thing. So this activation or whatever it is that like you get to run through the entire first workout exactly as the games athletes are going to do it, which is pretty cool.
Final run. These types of challenges, like Hopper Call being said, it's boring. And the point of these things, spectators or anyone who wants to cater activation, meaning after the athletes do it throughout the rest of the weekend, it'll be their first event. So Friday morning, throughout the rest of Friday, Saturday, and Sunday,
Friday morning. Everyone heard that.
Spectators or anyone who wants to try it or just take on the individuals can sign up to do this in the exact same spot in the exact same order. That being said,
that's cool. That's a really cool thing. Not just the 5K run is like the group that they did in the 2023 games, but like they get to do an event, like an actual event. And then he also said they're doing an ACFT, which is really cool. So I think that's really neat overall. All right. So
that written criteria we accept requests for driving in the snatch version of coming event. Going to the games as a spectator is more than watching people exercise. It's a fitness festival and celebration. I love hanging around with my family, doing group workouts, shopping at vendor village, meet and greets, etc. That's why I go every year. The announcement of IE1 is a great step in that direction, and we'd love to see more of that. Thanks for all you do. Also, there's going to be a lot of that still, and the Army will also, they're going to have an activation where you can do the ACT, the Army, or the AFT, the Army Fitness Test.
Army
they just changed the name. That's probably what it is.
And
so there'll be a lot of activations, and there'll be vendor village. So that community side should still be there, and we'll still be there.
Here,
Dance updates. Thanks.
Here's what I want to talk about, and this is Dave.
For all you do, and I've done for the community, Dave. Thank you. At Pura Via I like to use AI to tell me how unfit I am. It is capable of telling you what elite, advanced, intermediate, and beginner. And I think I would give the games. It's nobody has bought CrossFit yet. Okay, that's cool. I'll try that too. Who bought CrossFit? If you were to buy CrossFit, would you separate the games from the affiliates as 2 separate entities? Nobody has bought CrossFit yet. I would organize it in a different way for sure. And I think I would give the games its own enterprise, its own domain, its own complete vertical top to bottom support.
This is an interesting thing to say, to come out and say this. He says no one's bought CrossFit, which is fine. I know Savannah and them think it's different, but he just came out and basically was just like, hey, I would do this totally different publicly, not like defaming or like talking bad about the current. But it's an interesting thing for him to say publicly when he currently works for the company is in the other way, in the other version of this.
Off of its own efforts, with its own media, with its own IT, with its own dedicated team, and it could expand or contract as much as it would want, and it would live next to affiliates and EDU and work for the same broader goals of expanding and promoting CrossFit to a large number of people to help expose this fitness to them. But affiliates and EDU and that world would also live on its own. So they'd have to get along. But I think I think if I owned it, I would give them some freedom to run the sport, the games team, independent of those two. But I don't own it, and I'm not going to buy it because I don't have that type of money, so we don't have to worry about that. Okay, that's it.
Anyways, okay, so it's an interesting statement because I feel like I agree too. I think it should separate, but in some capacity. And then Savant said he agrees that it should separate too. But Souza says it's a terrible idea and that the sport can't live without the affiliates, and it might not be able to. I mean, I definitely think it should because of the things that Dave said, but it's just such an interesting thing that Dave was just like, yeah, we should do this, but I don't have control, so we're not going to. But like he's pretty much the guy, you know? And it just is an interesting thing to say publicly when you work for the current regime in the current format. It's just a weird thing. I don't know. I don't really know what to say about it. But I like the shirt a lot. I like that it says Forging Elite Fitness. I think that's a really good indication of the direction that the sport is heading and just the CrossFit in general. Maybe trying to bring back like, hey, let's do fucking hard shit all the time. Right. I just think it's a good um I don't know. It was nice to see it. It's always good to see stuff from the past in this world that we're in, bringing it back. Gus, maybe he's pitching it to stay involved with new ownership. Hmm. So are you saying you think new ownership will get rid of the sport? I don't really know what this means. I'm not sure. Or you voice his support if new ownership does it. Is Dave just saying game season needs to be financially indecent of CrossFit? Is that not the case this year? No, it's all prize purses. So he means everything, marketing, the marketing team, everything, like a different domain. So there's so much cross pollination in the CrossFit space that most people will be doing like social media for the CrossFit channel and the games channel. Marketing is for the CrossFit games and CrossFit. And so there's a lot of cross pollinating in use of resources, which then take away from both, I think is what he's referring to. So not just the financial aspect of it. And there's no way that just the open signups are funding the entire games. Oh, I see what you're saying. Uh I mean, I assume that the open signups will help event funding, but I can't imagine that, like there's a lot of financial costs to getting the open set up, right? So where does that money go? And so I think that's where the difference is. Um, um, so I mean, I think I feel like that's the only logical solution moving forward, right? To prioritize both. Um, Gus, I'll come back to this in a second. I agree. Do the new ownerships need to implement this approach? I mean, I think separating sport and methodology or sport and affiliate is really important for a couple reasons. Affiliates are dying and they need something to really wrap their heads around on like what CrossFit is going to do for them that's different than what they have been doing, right? And it's like, hey, we're going to stop funding the games. We're going to separate these entities. And now all of our focus is back into you 100%. And so I think affiliates, even so, I said this maybe a couple, maybe last podcast, maybe a couple podcasts ago, that most affiliate owners that like started in the 2011 to 2000, um, like 18, 19 era were all pretty much competitors and they loved the competitive space. But for most of them that I know that did the competitive thing, and even at low levels or high levels or whatever, um, are over it now, right? And they're, a lot of them are over the sport, and that's okay, right? That's like their right. And so they're all about their affiliate making money and providing a life with their family and support, and like funding, getting revenue so they can make a career out of this and not just be a side thing. And so so many people um uh want to see CrossFit putting effort into affiliate, and I think this would be such a big step in the right direction. Even if nothing changed, it was just like, okay, this is what it is, because everyone just thinks that they prioritize sport over affiliate through marketing and through exposure and all of those things. And so I think it would just look like the right direction. Now, I don't know what that would actually look like and entail and how they would give more value in general, but it does seem, even if it was just like separating the, like, somehow convincing the public that the methodology is different than the sport in this aspect, right? I mean, that would be a benefit, and I think a net benefit from people coming into the gym. Um, okay. Um, Dave says the sport will either thrive or die on its own. No, it will. It thrive, I would say, means grow, and I don't know if it will grow, but I don't know if it needs to grow. I think it needs, and so I think thrive as in be able to operate on its own and maybe get back to more of a grassroots fittest on earth thing, like like the normal person, just like being a crazy fit human more potentially. Now, do I think it can be more professional and bigger? I don't know. I truly believe the push for the moving games, like the ability to pick up and go to a different place every year, kind of like how Dave has talked about, to go to Europe and being inside of a venue for the entirety of the event, has really hurt the fittest on earth claim. Um, and so I think the venue has such a big role to do. And so if it moves to this like traveling circus and not somewhere like Madison or Carson where you're outside a lot of it, I truly think it really hinders the entertainment value, in all of those things. And I think that's a really big thing that people aren't really talking about. No one wants to sit in their fucking, like row F, seat 6 behind the finish line for 10 hours a day. And so I think that's where one of the biggest limiters is the venue needs to be really important moving forward. And I know that kind of like went off topic, but it's been something I've been thinking of why it was so entertaining in Madison and at Carson and even at Pendleton, was because of the outside venue, people moving around, great vendor village, all the other activation things. Like if it's just inside of an arena, I think that's gonna be the killer. I think that's gonna be such a big killer because it's so not fun to watch already. And putting it in there is just gonna be, it's okay to watch it online, but people just aren't gonna go. As tickets aren't gonna sell. And I don't know. I think that's a factor. Um Kyle, I love your optimism. Kyle says, I think the games could turn into something like the NFL. Dude, I'm telling you, if the games turned into something like an NFL, and instead of 32 people watching this, because there's only like 10 podcasts, right, in the space. And it's already way too many, but I refuse to stop because I enjoy talking shit to a screen and you guys listening. This would there'd be like 33,000 people watching this, and I would be great. I wish anything that we could even be um a tenth, a 100th, because we're not even, I mean, we're hardly a 100th of what the NFL is. Um, okay. Um, okay. Back to Gus's thing. So Gus talking about Dave, like he knows the new ownership is going to do that. And so he's saying that's what he would do. So the community supports it better when it happens. He looks good to new owners for doing so. I got it. Okay. He's patting the deck for himself. Um, Yeah, I mean, the rumor. All right, so this will pull up my other thing. Here we go. So this is Box Life. What are we doing? There we go. Box Life made a post. We're going to talk about here in a minute. Um, I agree. The games has to be a festival, and you can't do that inside of a thing. I mean, I think finding a way to like mix, like basically make it like the Arnold. Find a way to make it like that, and it will succeed big time. Um, okay. All right. So Box Live posts a thing of like the $220 million deal that could restrape. I'm assuming he's just pulling this from Savan because he references Savan, or Julian references Savan a few times. Um, uh, if this happens, this part right here, Rich and Daniel at the top, I mean, I think we're in a very, very good direction moving forward. Putting Rich's face in Daniel's face, I mean, this is the entire American market, and this is the entire European market, right? Which is 95% of CrossFit, right? Because like the South America and Africa and Australia, like it's still self-sustaining, and it doesn't matter who's at the helm, right? It's about maintaining the American audience and the European audience and pushing there. And this does both of those. So if Rich and Daniel are at the helm of whatever deal is happening, it is a good thing. That is the hands down the best outcome of a sell, no matter who fucking buys it. Like it doesn't matter if it's private equity again, because it's pretty much going to have to be. I think we kind of understand that. Is Rich set to take the helm? Um, this is just basically like pulling all this stuff in from YouTube. Intriguing, blah blah blah. Glassman endorses Daniel Chaffee. That's huge. North Star as affiliates. He's amazing at it. Same with Rich though, right? It seems like something is happening because of the NDAs that people, and again, this is all just from Savant, right? So literally just taking like a couple snippets from there. So Kyle, look up Rich Froning's net worth. I mean, he's not worth, I mean, he's worth a lot, but he doesn't have, if he were, they would basically be putting him and Daniel wouldn't be putting up money, right? Maybe they would put up some, but they wouldn't be, it would be a company, an equity company, and they would just be the faces of it, right? Very similar to how Berkshire put Rosa at the top, right? That was the same thing, except it maybe would be a little more factual, and not a complete lie. It's not about who owns CrossFit. It's about who protects what it really means. And this is it, right? No one cares who owns it, right? It's just like who the face of it is and who is making the decisions, right? And like what those decisions are trying to move towards. Is this an actual?
Three very interesting.
Oh yeah, I watched this. This is what it's all from. Okay. So, I mean, I do think if Chaffee and Froning are at the top, we're at least moving in the right direction. Okay, now this is, I just want to be clear. I've done a lot of research on recovery. Avera, we'll continue on this. Okay, will PE private equity be able to get what they paid for CrossFit? I sense they'll be willing to take a big hit. Yeah, well, they paid 200, so I think they're trying to not take a loss. Is what they're trying to do. And so even if they break it up, I think it would be fine. Like if you gave sport to Rich and affiliates to Chaffee, dude, that's a force to be reckoned with. And you sold each for $125 million, or one for 50 million and the other for 200 million, right? Like here's the games for 50 million. Here's affiliates for 200 million, right? I mean, it would, and you separated them, and then they went through all that, blah, blah. And Froning was running, like the face of the CrossFit Games and that jazz. I mean, I think that would be pretty ideal at the top. Okay. This is from the the owner of Whoop, or the CEO of Whoop. I've never seen anyone fumble the bag so hard. And I don't really give a shit what he has to say. I just want to talk about Whoop for 10 seconds. Okay. Because him saying, one, I've heard that like he lives with Zach Tellender, which is kind of crazy. He's a millionaire, like shacking up with just a YouTube creator. Anyways, so Whoop is fundamentally an incorrect algorithm. In case anyone doesn't know, who wears a Whoop? Who wears a Whoop in here? And this is what people don't realize. I don't even know if he's got one on. Is Whoop in their gamified system of recovery is fundamentally not how you read HRV. Like from the science. Sorry, I thought Ben was crying. From the science of what HRV is, Whoop is by definition incorrect. It would be like saying, I don't know, like it. Perfect clock, thank you. So there we go. Okay, that makes me feel better because I was very confused. So the problem with Whoop, I wore Whoop for forever, but it has a moving target, and so the algorithm moves too aggressively. That's not how HRV works. HRV is balanced over a month within a range, and that's how you define recovery. Just assume it's 90 to 100. The way that Whoop does it is every day that you have a recovery score, your algorithm adjusts. And if you don't continuously progress on that recovery score or that HRV, like it's a daily adjustment, right? And so it also defines the higher the better always. So if you have like 3 days of 95 and then randomly a 1 day at 120 HRV average or whatever, it's going to say you're more recovered. And that is fundamentally the incorrect way to read HRV, to read parasympathetic and sympathetic responses, right? Because if we're very high, way outside of our norm, we'll call it a 10 point range, 90 to 100, and you all of a sudden throw a 130 or a 140, that means you're excessively parasympathetic during sleep, which means you are in a high state of recovery as well. And so, but Whoop doesn't read it like that. Whoop just reads it as higher, better, which is it's like saying 2 plus 2 equals 7. Okay. It's fundamentally wrong, and they've never changed it. And I don't understand why. Like, just read anything on HRV averages. If it's very low relative to your average, you're in recovery. You're not recovered. If it's very high relative to your average, then you're recovery. Now, if it's really high for 20 days straight, that means your HRV is going up and your balance is going up. But to have these like, oh, here I'm like 120, 125, 130, and then like a 190, right? Which is also insane. These are relatively inaccurate readings, in my opinion. And it's like, oh, you're 100% recovered. It's like, no, you're fucking not recovered at all. That's bad. Anyways, it's just annoying. Like, it's terrible. Garmin's new reading system and their newer watches is better, in my opinion. Anyways, it's frustrating. And then also they never put a fucking clock face on it or a timer. So you always have to wear two. All they had to do was put the tiniest analog video and it would have been fine. Like analog clock right there with a timer on it. Boop, it's 2:15 in the afternoon. Click a button, 0, here's your timer instead of having to wear a watch. That's it. That's all they needed to do for forever. Boop. And he refused to do it. It's so frustrating. And now you have to wear 2 watches to have it on your wrist. So annoying. Also, finally, comparing to like other recovery things, they're like, oh, you wear it all the time and you never take it off. You don't even have to take it off to charge it, blah, 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 blah. Scoring recovery should have nothing to do with what you did the day before. That will influence your recovery score in a negative manner. Because if you wake up and your HRV when you give it more and more and more data, you're going to bias the results. So like Aura Ring, way better. You can't wear it when you train. You should really, I mean, you should wear it throughout the day, but you really only need to wear it when you sleep, because when it takes your HRV and it measures REM cycles and all of that, it should be in a vacuum by itself, relevant of what you did the day before. That's a more accurate HRV reading. That's how HRV Elite works. When you put on a chest strap and you sit there for 2 minutes and you let it take its thing, it's irrelevant of what you did the day before, because when you can bias it, then it's going to spit out a lower recovery no matter what. Even if your recovery score was perfect, it's like, oh, well, you did so much yesterday, so you have to be in a state of recovery. But that might not be the case. It is for the most part, but it might not be. Okay. And so when you take more data from the day before, you just create a biased result, and it's going to spit out, in my opinion, incorrect recovery. So, anyways, and then green better, red being bad, fundamentally is like a psychological fuck, right? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. So, and then finally, one more thing. The way that Whoop reads their HRV, it takes your HRV in your first REM cycle in your sleep. So if you go to bed at 9 o'clock, it's taking that anywhere from 10 to 11 REM cycle, right? PM, not your last one. So again, fundamentally an incorrect way to measure recovery. How would you not be more recovered 7 hours later at 6 a.m. in your last REM cycle? And so there's so many problems with Whoop and the way that it does recovery. It doesn't make any sense unless they've changed everything since we really dug into the, like the operations of it. It just, nah. It's just wrong on a lot of accounts, right? That's why, like, if you drink and you wear a Whoop, no matter what, it's going to be like in the red, even if you have one. But if you have it close to bed, or if you eat really close to bed, it's going to show that your recovery is terrible. That's because when it takes it, you're still digesting food, but you're not digesting food 8 hours later when you wake up at 8 a.m. Anyways, Kyle, what's your opinion on Apple Watch? I think it's okay. I like the rings because it promotes people to do fitness. So it is. I like it there. The data seems to be improving as far as like how it reads HRV in the algorithm. I don't know a lot about its actual like HRV readings and the algorithm that it uses to push out recovery score. But for the most part, I think it's fine. I don't know as much about like how it reads REM and the effectiveness of it, and those kind of things. I just know a lot about Whoop because I was a big Whoop user for a long time, and then I switched to Aura Ring. I lost my Aura Ring like a year ago. I'm very sad, and I just don't want to buy another one. And yeah, so yeah, that's where I'm at. I wear a Garmin. I really like it. It's just about consistency, right? Again, I just don't like Whoop because of what I know about the fundamentals of it are just wrong. Okay. Back to important things. Camp. Guys, if you suck at CrossFit and if you watch this, you're not an elite athlete for sure. Maybe there's a couple, but if you are still working on muscle ups and double unders and you're not good at snatching or clean and jerks or bar muscle ups, guys, come to camp right here. Scan this QR code. It's like $300 off. Gus is terrible. Gus is coming to camp. I don't even think Gus is good enough to come to camp. But we're going to try and help him anyways. And dude, if you guys have some time this summer, it's in a month, 3 weeks now. Come to Colorado. It's easy to fly into from anywhere in the country. $300 off. Come hang out with me and Ben and Nelson and Melissa. Let us teach you some CrossFit. It's going to be a good time. You guys should really consider it. If you don't have any plans that weekend, come on out. Flights to Denver are cheap in the summer, so you can get there easily. Scan the QR code. Come hang out. Let us help you go from scale to RX. Maybe after you do the Community Cup and you realize that, fuck, I'm still not working on the things I need to work on. Let us help you work on them right here. Boop. Boom. All right. So huge week in the CrossFit space. We have Torian, Syndicate, and Rebel Games, which is awesome. It's going to be super fun to watch. Big weekend. Torian workouts are out. I think all of them are out. We've got Tia doing some stuff. Doesn't look like she's too far ahead of. I don't even know who's in this video. Maddie. Maddie's definitely on par to do well too. I do think it's strange that pretty much every high-level athlete trains against each other like at all times. Which one has the biggest prize purse? I don't think any of them have a prize. I don't even know if Syndicate has a prize purse. I have no idea. I have zero idea to that question. Let's see. Divisions. I don't know. Ticket info, news, about. Tickets to the game. News. I don't know. I don't know if they've. I mean, I have no idea. Let's see. This is what. I don't think that's accurate. AI failed me. The Torian Pro. That's definitely a mistake. I don't think there's a prize purse. I mean, I assume there is for like the other divisions, but I don't know. I don't think there is one. Anyways, do we think Tia is going to win? I think she is. I don't think it's even going to be close. Oh, look. Proven's a sponsor. Torian Pro. I just think this is so weird. I mean, I guess it makes sense, but Kyle, this is a good. Kyle asked, what do you think if the games made teams like Grid, I assume is what you're saying, but ran the competition like CrossFit and not Grid? You still have the finals at the games. I've said this for forever. Is like a team should have like be like a football team. Like there should be some specialists, and you should have like very much like the tier whatever the tier cup is what it is. Like we would have some events with one person, some events with all the teams, some events with two people or just females or male female pairings. I think that would make it more fun. And then you'd basically just have something like 10 teams at the CrossFit games, and there's like 6 to 8 people on the team, and you just let everyone compete like from the whole world, right? Like, and there's just the top 10 teams. But you would get around a team. I agree. Like you would get around a team, support the team 100%. I think it would just grow the fan base. You're more attached to a team. People would not be moving around as much year after year. I agree. I think this would be cool. I don't know if we would need a draft every year. But if you did this, something like this, like Torian would have a team. Mayhem would have, like, even if it was the training camps, right? Like Torian or like Proven would have a team. Mayhem would have a team. TTT would have a team. I think that would be pretty cool. Right now, it wouldn't be the affiliate cup, and things would be different, but I've always said that I think that Gus, HWPO cannot field the team. I don't think they want to, and this is where I disagree on the whole HWPO hate, right? I don't. They made their decision, and they realize that there's no fucking money in high level CrossFit, and there isn't. And so I don't think they care. They don't care. Now, do I wish HWPO would be more a part of the community? For sure. I do, right? Because they are a training camp in general. And I think they chose that they don't want to. Their decision was that they can't coach. They don't want to coach. They don't want to they don't want to do that thing, right? I don't think it's that they can't. I think they could have put the right people in place, and they could have for sure, without a doubt in my mind. They chose that they don't want to. It's not financially beneficial. It's not financially beneficial for people to do the elite athlete thing. It's a net money loss for sure. Now with marketing, etc., but they built the whole company on Matt's name. Why do they need more elite athletes to focus on HWPO golf or their fitness track or, like whatever it is? Like the competitive space of CrossFit is not that big, and it's extremely crowded right now and very competitive. You know, you're Gus, and I understand what you're saying, and I understand why you feel that way, but I also feel like you're just sort of agreeing with the YouTube space and Taylor's mindset on HWPO. Um, but I don't know. I mean, I don't think like I just don't think they want to be in the competitive space. I think that's totally okay. There's nothing wrong with not being in the competitive space as a company. I don't know. It just doesn't seem it's not so I don't know. I don't have the same sentiment towards HWPO as everyone does. And I don't think it's as big of a deal or whatever. Now some of the other stuff like asking people to like not work with other people or whatever like those claims are, that's not cool. And I don't know. But from what I know and the experiences that I've had, I don't think it's different when you ruin most of your competitors than decide to leave the competitive space. From what I know, the Mal O'Brien thing was a Mal O'Brien thing and not a HWPO thing. It's yeah. I'll put a link in there. I'm not going to get into that. I've heard just so many conflicting stories about Mal. Yeah, obviously no love for HWPO in this chat. For Mal and Jason, like it's clear Jason didn't thrive there. There's no doubt, obviously, right? But I don't think that's the story for Mal. I think Mal was progressively getting more and more addicted. And from what I've heard, she was being supported in the opposite way, meaning they were trying to get her to train less, and it just wasn't happening, and it was just becoming more and more and more of a problem. But I could be wrong, right? I don't know. Those are just the rumors that I've heard. It wasn't that she was being forced to train more. It was that it was just all on her, and they were trying to pull it back, and it just wasn't getting pulled back, and it was just getting worse and worse and worse. She's making herself sick. She's training more and more and more. Even is like trying to, Matt and the team trying to pull her back. So, who knows? Is there a link? Yeah, I'll put a link in it's probably a good idea. Thanks, buddy. Link in the chat, in the thing. like at hand. There we go. Oh, what is happening? All right. Fraser's last gift to Tia was get rid of the Tia killer. Oh God, that's so fucked up. Oh my God. That's funny though. Jesus. Dude, that's some dark shit, buddy. That's really dark. That's pretty funny though. Anyways, all right. So I can't hang out too long afterwards. We got to go get to some training. Copy. Link in the description for the WODprep camp. Discount. Boom. / WODprep camp. Did I not change this? Yep. Code is DMCJ300. There we go. Sweet. Thanks, Gus. All right. Save. Boom. Okay. Yeah, it's just, so what is HWP? It's just a programming company. What else is everyone else, right? Like what's Proven? Proven's just a programming company. TTT is just a programming company. Well, no, they have education too. I don't know what the difference would be. I don't know what like, what else would any of them be like of all the like all the programming companies in the space, WODprep is really the only company that sells a product. Everyone else just sells programming, right? Like we sell the courses, right? I wish we were more of a programming company, but it's fucking impossible to compete with Rich and Tia. So what else would HWPO be? Right? Or what else would Proven be? Or what else would the program be? Or the training plan? Like they're just programming companies, right? I don't think they're anything else. If, I mean, Mayhem has affiliate. Yeah, exactly. It's just, yeah, I mean, it is, but it's like it's a put together product, right? Like, I think programming and course design is more of like, they are the same. Like it is programming, like it's just a digital product, right? One is like a fixed packaged thing and the other is ongoing, right? So I think that would be the difference. Well, they sell one put together product, which is one strict pull-up course, correct? I don't think Sentinel sells. That's it. That's all they sell. One. He sold one that he sells for $40, and then but everything else is a program. Okay, whatever. Anyways, well, we have 40, so I don't think it's the same thing as Sentinel. Just to be clear, an ebook, right? Which is the same thing as a packaged course, but that's not the main thing of his finances, right? So, anyways, I mean, I think HWPO is a programming company. Like, I don't think they sell a lot of packaged things. Fun, as I say that, flagship is not as like everyone starts back at day one, which is so strange. Anyways. Okay, Gus, go suck Taylor's dick a little bit more before we finish the call. Okay. Whatever you have to say, buddy. You're on my podcast. So, all right, way to walk it back. Anyways, all right, guys, I got to dip. We got to go get some training in. Hope you had a good show. And we'll continue Friday. We'll probably be live during Torian, so maybe we'll do a little bit of streaming. And yeah, thanks for being here. Got a dip. Peace.